And good morning. Welcome to a new wonderful week. A happy Monday to everybody. And that includes our friend Walter Tomaszewski. And why do I say that? Because his super chats disappeared. So I went into the background, and during bonus time, we're going to get both of those super chats. So you don't have to worry about it, Walter. We got them. I got them. You even get a special presentation window because, I had a little bit of extra time this morning, which, it's fun. You guys are worth it, and you're worth it, Walter. So thank you for the super chats this morning, and we will get to those at the bonus time segment, which is coming up right after the show. We got 6 minutes to get through 17, 18 stories in all, probably 18. And then we got bonus stories, we got Walter's super chats, and much more. So thank you guys for hanging out today. Should be a lot of fun. Should be filling up that time before we go over to the WDW Pro show for a little Monday recovery. And I think everybody needs that. I want to say a big shout out and thank you to all the mods. You guys, I really need you this week. It's going to be busy. Can't drive tomorrow. Busy. Oh, and by the way, that's right, even you helped get us over 3,300 additional members this month alone. Can we get more? I think so. In the last 30 days, the channel's blown up because of you watching the videos. Watching 2 successive videos in a row is all the difference. And if you're watching on the replay, your comments down below that say replay gang, they really help as well. In fact, your comments on any video help immensely. Also, don't forget that thumbs up button. Most people do. So even on the lives, hit that thumbs up button. It makes a huge difference in engagement. We've got Weatherman out there on both platforms. It didn't get locked out, then got locked out, then didn't get locked. I don't know what's going on over on Green Machine, but things are strange. So, and Jill, thank you for being out there. Look at all these great humans. I am blessed with the best chat on YouTube, and that includes the people with the Green Machine like Ms. Pick Cafe, who does double duty and amazing things each and every day. So thank you guys so very much. You are appreciated, and you're the only one of you there is. So just know that, and that every day, even if it's not just me, you are loved. You are loved. Oh my gosh, we got so much going on, guys. We got movies flopping left and right. January and February, you might as well not even bother with a movie. Because unless you're an independent film, and that's a good time to release because you're not competing with anything, yeah, it's going to be a rough go. Monday, January, Monday, February, I'm usually reporting bad news for the box office. In fact, I recorded a video that I'm going to edit and get out for you later today on Wuthering Heights, which has a withering earnings. At least that's what's likely to happen. Hey, the beautiful Deeple is here. Good to see you. Good to see you. We got Georgia Peach out there. Hello. By the way, I want to say a special shout out and thank you to the 20% female audience. You guys are something special. That never happens in this sphere. I hope that you can tell me why you're here, because I would appreciate it. And tell me where you're from. You should let me know in the chats. I'd appreciate that. Bury the music, man. Good morning to you. But unfortunately, 6 minutes starts now. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, wherever you are and whatever you're watching. Thanks for checking out the 6 Minute Daily. We have a lot to talk about, not a lot of time to do it in, so let's get right to the news from Deadline and all the other trades. We start with our first 9 stories, and let's start here. The studios got really upset over the weekend over what people were seeing, that we don't need Hollywood anymore. AI replaced them. You got Brad Pitt versus Tom Cruise. That fight really upset people, including Disney, who got into the midst of it. But you have cease and desist letters from everybody, and a return to reality for, well, the film world. Warner Brothers Discovery's eyeing renewed discussions with Paramount Skydance after their latest bid and the realization that Netflix was a fool's game, a fool's errand, a folly. An error in judgment, which, let me tell you, David Zaslav's made significant number of those lately. But hey, at least this gets us back to the realm of reality where sound business practices will rule the day. Train Dreams won the Best Feature. Sorry Baby awarded Best Screenplay. Adolescence taking home 4 trophies at the Spirit Awards, which nobody watches. Yikes. Moving on, we have Wuthering Heights. Like I said, it's going to bring in about $82 million domestic, 72, maybe 82, somewhere in there. And that's not domestic, excuse me, that's global around the world. Notice how when the film's doing poorly, they tout it like it's amazing and give you a global total. And when it's actually really performing well, they give you just the domestic. That's the kind of window we're in right now. They spent $85 million additional dollars on top of an $80 million budget to try to pretend like this was a good idea to modernize and create a divisive Wuthering Heights. Not a good Bronte adaptation from what I hear. Sorry about that little cough this morning. Fox's Baywatch reboot has cast Stephen Amell in the series lead. That'll go nicely for them, I think, and they had good experience working with him over on his particular superhero show on what was that, the WB? That's right. Backlash at Festival, that's right, says artists should not be expected to speak on every political issue. Hey, I dropped a video on this last night. You should go and check it out if you haven't already. Give me your comments there if you want more videos like that. But between Michelle Yeoh, Neil Patrick Harris, and Kevin James, everybody's starting to realize there's no reward to speaking on politics because it's divisive and it drives people away from your projects, and you want to continue to get paid and have Hollywood succeed. You've got to shut up and act. Sinners star Wunmi Mosaku has not been able to celebrate her Oscar nomination because of the killings of Renee Good and Alex Preddy by ICE. See, this is the kind of nonsense people are tired of, and this chick clearly didn't get the memo. And she didn't know these people. She's like talking about house. How can I enjoy the moment? Oh, goodness. Well, enjoy the fact that you got nominated for an award. Not a lot of people win. Who will buy Wasserman? And that's the next step. This guy got outed because of Island Boy and some emails that were less than flattering, losing his entire music agency all at once. Likely Wasserman is out of there, and Allies weigh in on the rivals with their knives out, grabbing up talent and looking to grab up the rest of it. We'll see what happens. Wendy's is closing U.S. restaurants and focusing on value to turn around their falling sales, which is smart. At least they're a burger that is maybe a burger. We don't know exactly, but definitely McDonald's has problems. Soaring coffee prices rewrite some of people's daily routines. A lot of people are going without. Yours truly is fasting and reducing caffeine intake as we speak, not just because of the health benefits, but because $14 for a can of coffee is reasonable. $24 is a little ridiculous. We've got TSA agents working without pay right now. Thank you, Democrats. We've got gifts and soup from Uncle Jeffrey, the Epstein ties of Kathleen Rumler's run at Goldman, not to mention her close ties to Obama. She was Obama's top lawyer. Everybody wants to ignore that. Cuba postpones its annual cigar fest. Why? Well, because they need power. And we've got immigration officials planning to spend $38.3 billion to boost detention and exportation of people here illegally. Capacity of detention, 92,000 beds. Congratulations. We've got Hollywood groups condemning ByteDance's AI video generator, which is the first story of the day in the 6 Minute Daily. It's also this story from the AP claiming copyright infringement. I don't know how. They didn't take any scenes from anywhere to create anything. You just have actors that have worked with the studios. It's very strange. We'll see what happens with it. Wall Street steadies after the AI-induced sell-off. A lot of people are predicting the bubble to pop even further. I'm not sure I disagree. And finally, with the bear story, grizzly bear has started to emerge. A lot of them actually have started to emerge early from their den in Yellowstone National Park and elsewhere. This happens. The bears are back to being in their hyperphagic state, trying to replenish the stores and reserves of their quote-unquote low power mode because they're trying to dissuade us from using the word hibernation. They say bears aren't really like smaller mammals which hibernate. They just take a low power nap, I guess. Very strange. Anyway, that was it for today, at least as far as the 6 Minute Daily. We have other stories in bonus time, and don't go anywhere because Walter Tomaszewski, well, he did some super chats that we should acknowledge and say thank you for. And so did Archer Merchant. In fact, let's get to those next in bonus time. Bonus time. Archer Merchant's out there. Let's grab his real quick since it's up on the screen. It's easy to get. We've got a $5 super chat from our friend Archer saying, feel like they were paid for the message. Then woke companies ran out of money. Well, yeah, USAID got shut down. Do you realize how much money and fraudulent money made it back to the political circles and efforts like this bologna sausage to try to turn this country into a commie country? An awful lot. It polluted universities. It polluted political systems. It perverted entire governments from the ground up. I cannot wait till people take a look at the fraud and the abuse in Illinois. California's got a huge problem in front of it. This is going to be a really weird year as we get deeper and deeper into the massive amount of fraud in Minnesota. And Minnesota compared to California, tip of the iceberg. So yeah, I would say you're correct there. But you get lots of layoffs, etc. So they're realizing woke literally and can't doesn't pay. No, it doesn't. It hasn't forever. There is no quote unquote modern audience. It's all been bologna sausage. And you know what? It's not edible. Modern stuff is just not edible. You guys realize you got meat glue and stuff? There's a lot of fake sugar. You got seed oils, a lot of things that are no bueno for your bod. And we want good things for your body. We also want Juliet out there to get some recognition, saying wonderful things about the channel, like subscribe and hit that thumbs up button. Thank you, dear. Definitely share the stream and share the dream, and I would appreciate that. This morning, we have a lot of news to get to. We still have more bonus time, and we've got Walter Tomaszewski's super duper chats, which I want to get to next. This may be a special thing that happens every once in a while when they decide to, let's say, get rid of them. Unfortunately for you, Walter, they did that, but fortunately for us, I was able to grab them from the back end. So let's that didn't sound good. That didn't come off well. But we'll do our best here, and we'll present what we can. So, Walter, in honor of you, let's get to the early super duper chats right here. Oh, I got to shrink the window just a wee bit. There we go. Yeah, da-da-da. All right. Walter sent one for $2 in Culture Casino Cash, which was part 2. We'll get to that in a minute. The first one from Walter Tomaszewski for $5 Culture Casino Cash, part 1. CC, why do so many studios believe their own press regarding streaming? You know, it's a good question. You've asked a lot of good questions in the comments lately, and thank you for that. I've tried to respond in long form. I could really put up a wall of text about what's going on in Hollywood right now, but a lot of them feel compelled to toe the line. They have to present the best possible face for fear of losing face. Now, remember, a lot of these companies have close ties to China, and it puts them in line with some bad ideas and bad practices that aren't very faithful to what the American requirements are. You really, it's hard to sell the idea that something's profitable if it clearly is losing money. There's a reason for that. And even with Hollywood bookkeeping, it's deceptive. So they're believing the press because they choose to believe. It's not a matter of reality. It's a matter of faith. Believe it or not, I would say that woke is kind of a very poor imitation of religion. If you want to take a look at it that way, at least that's how I see it. So you're going to believe a lot of things maybe you have no business believing because you want them to be true. And so many of these people are compromised, likely because of education, but many of them got into industries or jobs that they aren't qualified for. This happened broadly. If you talk to some of the people in the industry, and we have some of those people actually in the chat right now who've worked in Hollywood, either on film or television, they can tell you that a lot of people got jobs because of who they knew or superficial things that really point out the racism of the industry, things like color and what other people would call DEI. All of those things have led to a modern audience that doesn't actually exist and who, well, you just can't pull in no matter what. Doesn't matter what part of the entertainment industry you're in. Even if you're in gaming or music, who are you pulling in? The NFL probably learned that lesson with the latest halftime, as nearly 40% of the audience turned off the Super Bowl halftime show. That's no good. That never happens. It's the first time it's ever happened. It's the first time ever. And it's not the first time in forever. It's the first time ever. So it's not good. So they believe their own press because, well, they kind of have to. And a lot of them are in that last ditch moment where they're going to have to make a choice. Some of the stars have, as the video I dropped yesterday afternoon indicates. And you should probably watch that if you haven't already and let me know your thoughts on it. But Michelle Yeoh and a lot of people that are respected in Hollywood are the reason why a lot of these festivals are now going to start lecturing the press on how to question the stars. Dragging the stars into political discussions doesn't aid the stars or the projects that they're in, that they're trying to promote and sell at these festivals. In fact, a lot of these festivals are the primary sales location for films, especially independent works by things that are financed outside of, let's say, the studio system, which is a giant chunk of films, including Margot Robbie's production here of Wuthering Heights. So, yeah, no, not good. All right, what else do we have? Well, let's see. Part of the question is it's a quick way to make a buck to pay investors their 15% ROI. No, they're not going to get there. I like you said, I mean, I'm trying to remember who underwrote Robbie's movie originally, but it was one of the financiers you would recognize. And Margot took the bid so she could pay off the studio. We're going to talk about that in the video I'm going to release later about Wuthering Heights. Ladies, it's not looking good. The romance is replaced with carnality, apparently, in this modern version of Bronte's classic. This is the other problem. When adapting cultural literature, if you deviate too dramatically from the intent or the tone of that literature, you've done yourself a disservice, which is what Nolan's doing with the film he's about to destroy. You know, we're going to have a conversation of Helena Troy again at some point. And Homer's The Odyssey is very clear on the language and the time period and everything else that was happening at that point. Homer did an excellent job there, and Nolan thinks he can do better, or he can do it more woke, which I believe one of those things are true. The problem is woke doesn't sell, and it's kind of a middle finger to the original artist, which bothers me because Emily Bronte deserves something better than the effort that Margot Robbie's company gives you. Guess who hates it? Alan Ng of Film Threat. Many other people did not enjoy it. The people who've seen it say, modern version of this stuff. So there's that. There's that. Part two, the $2 super chat from our friend Walter. Just want to grab it real quickly to say it's not sustainable and studios know it. No, it's not. And it has never been, to be fair. What are the reasons why Ubisoft is in such terrible trouble and likely just going to become part of Tencent in the future is for that exact reason. The IPs are now going to be controlled by China, which is never should have happened. If I were an American studio, would have stepped in and just bought up and got rid of the French guys that are there that were too busy sexually harassing their employees to pay attention to the bottom line and what they should be focused on. And then when push came to shove, what did they do? They kowtowed to the people that were attacking them because they were such sexist POSs and have some terrible internal practices that should have just been dealt with by HR. But instead, they, gave in to the wokeification of their company. And same thing, CD Projekt Red did the same thing, guys. So normally I don't talk that much about gaming because it's not what the channel's based on. Every once in a while I'll talk about it, but those videos don't do well, and a lot of people turn the channel. So I'm not going to focus on that as much as I used to anymore, but I can't ignore it because it's part of the entertainment business. It used to be part of a bigger entertainment business that no longer exists. In fact, first and foremost, Hollywood needs to focus on entertainment, and I think we can all agree there. Right now, Archer Merchant for $5 says, I'm rewatching The Expanse again. Yeah, it got woke. Good, and still realizing how far modern shows have fallen, and AI is going for the jugular, and quality needs to step up. Yeah. Look, there are a few of you out there that are trying to will the industry back to where it needs to be. And I'm with you. And I see positive signs on the horizon. There are some stars that are like, realize there's no upside. Their agents realize there's no upside. Their PR people are starting to realize there's no upside of this. And unless they're getting kickbacks somehow, what's the point of exposing your folks to things that are not going to be profitable? So there's that. We got another super duper chat from our wonderful friend, and you should go check out her channel, The First Dragon Queen. She kind of broke down one of the issues with animatronics that you might purchase in stores or, for display purposes at a holiday, and how they break down and how to repair them. And it looks like she's going to be doing some repair on her channel, which I admire. So well done there. For $2, she says, I went over this sorta in my 97 Odyssey review. Yeah, exactly. These things are not tuned. The modern audience doesn't exist, and the farther away you deviate from the source material, the worse it is. Cyberpunk kind of played with this on the edge of iffy for gamers, but in the DLC, the sequel DLC that came out for that, Cyberpunk 2077, it kind of blended a little bit better. But eventually, they've fallen completely into the woke, so there that is, and it's not good. Then you have, let's say, adaptations are being done very poorly. James Gunn is a primary example of that. He's always tried to pull from other people's stories and then make them their own. He's responsible in part for the success of Guardians of the Galaxy, but from that point forward, he just became a one-trick pony. That's not a good thing. It's not good for the industry. It's not good for the medium, and it's not something that type of thing isn't sustainable in the same ways that we don't have sustainability without energy as a nation. In fact, no nation does. Germany is experiencing that now with industrialization disappearing. And instead of being the engine of the economy for Europe, they are failing, flopping around. Look, you have to control energy. You have to have substantially more than needed to be a successful Western economy. It's just the way it is. And how you get it is less important than people try to pretend. It's why the green stuff is disappearing here in the States and also around the world. A lot of people aren't sold on it anymore. And as the EU desperately tries to claw back some authority somewhere, we have to continue to shut them down. We need to shut down these global organizations that have been corrupted by mechanisms that they think is going to allow them to hang on to power, like the WHO and other things like that. So it's just, that's how those things work. Anyway, it's great to see you all. Thank you for being here. And of course, Archer Merchant with another $2 says, notice they eat their own when exposed or bankrupt. Yeah, they do. You guys have noticed that, right? It's like you said, one of the reasons if you've been watching the videos of late, you've seen I've included a lot of clips, people saying the wrong thing and then people saying the right thing. And most recently, obviously, in the video I dropped yesterday evening, I used both a Olympic athlete idiot and I then used a Ricky Gervais's speech from the Gold Globes that we all remember so fondly. Where he kind of told him to shut up, take your award, and get off the stage. He didn't use exactly those words. He was a little more flowery. But, I mean, there's that. And you can't get authority when you're giving it away to foreigners. This is so true. So true. And again, buckling under is never a good idea. So watching world leaders do that, especially in Europe, and Keir Starmer is probably the most guilty person of that in the UK. It's why it was so easy to twist their propaganda centerpiece that they developed in a game called Pathways called Amelia. You guys I did a video on that. You guys probably heard of her. She's being utilized to point out all the shortcomings in Europe and specifically the UK. And you have a new political movement in the UK that announced their presence with authority, which I thought was incredible. We'll might be talking about that in a stream on Tuesday. So be tuned in. We might get back to finally doing thank you for your attention to this matter. So that'll be the first video that I'll eventually repurpose for a new channel that's oriented around that. And I'm finally going to be able to finish editing a gardening video in the next couple of days. So the gardening channel's on its way. Europe has gone to hell. That's the kindest way to say it, Cole Hauser. I'm very worried about Canada, my friend. I'm glad you're up there. Hopefully you can help turn it around. So it is what it is. Who else is out there? Jeff, what's up, buddy? Says they used to care about actual pollutants. CO2 is not a pollutant. Yeah, we're not going to fight on that one. I agree with you wholeheartedly. Look at these wonderful people in the chat today. My goodness. Whoo-hoo. It's good to see you all. We've got John out there. What's going on? John says, how long have you been growing that beard? Well, actually, I don't know, maybe 7 months. I've shaved it off several times in the last couple of years. I used to have, well, you guys saw me with the wizard beard. And between the last time I had the wizard beard, which is going to be the outro for today, and now I shaved it completely off. I did that. I've done that a few times. I did it on a super chat goal for somebody else for comics division, and I literally shaved it off during the course of the stream. It doesn't take long for me to grow hair. That's why my hair is like crazy long after just a little over a year. Try to donate my hair about every 14 months or so. This time I'm letting it grow even longer. We're probably going to hit like my lower back before I donate it. This might be my last hair donation, but again, every time I do this, my hair is available for wigs for free. And I've partnered with different groups over the years to have them create wigs out of my hair. I want my wigs to be free, so there are certain groups that don't give the wigs away for free. They sell them. And I understand you want to keep a charity alive and with that mechanism, but at the same time, I mean, you're getting the hair for free. So, and my hair, when I donate it, because I have so much of it, usually it is more than one wig. Let's just say it that way. So, yeah, I'm one of those anti-cancer people, very hardcore. It's touched my family in so many different ways, especially breast cancer. So, ladies, I'm always there for you when it comes to that. It's the right thing to do. I wish we had more people that would do that. Hey, it's our friend Lucius Nature Triste, a little Latin for you in the morning, saying it's too late to shut up. We know who they are. So true. And that's the problem with Hollywood now, right? You ever get just so disenchanted with something that there's no amount of compensation that can make up for it, right? And a lot of people suggested that in the comments for the video that I just released. I think they're right. I think despite the fact that some of these people are gaining the strength or the courage to talk plainly about something they believe, it's too late. I mean, not everybody is going to be, and this isn't a great example, Mel Gibson, but not everybody's going to be, let's say, there have been a few other people that have been in the space. I mean, Kevin James is a good example, but he just kept his mouth shut. Somebody that you expect to be political, like Neil Patrick Harris, because he's gay, married to a man who he's been married to for a long time, like a couple decades now, and they have 2 kids. I mean, you would expect him to be overtly political, and he's kind of shied away from that as well. In fact, he participates in a lot of Disney religious events, including the Christmas events and stuff like that. So we definitely know who they are. And it's like they're closing the barn door after the horse is bolted. And that's exactly true. And somebody else used the analogies in that analogy in the comments for the video I dropped yesterday. So 100%. Oh, and by the way, this is Penny. Penny. Penny's amazing. She's everywhere and she comments on everything. So thank you, Penny, for your support. 11 Alpha is correct. Although this would be something different in a great movie, Idiocracy. CO2, it's what plants crave. It's true. It's very helpful. So the Czech presenter, hang on. The new Czech presenter telling Hillary like it is was hilarious and priceless. Yeah, I've been clipping videos all weekend. It's been full of interesting stuff. Speaking of interesting stuff, there's a good friend in the chat, somebody who's been here for the long part of the journey, and I truly appreciate it, and is always incredibly generous once a month. Or more frequently, and very generous to the people that I know and care about, like Lorena Creole. Scott Westbrook, great photographer, by the way, sends a super gift, I should say, 10 Culture Casino memberships. So we got 10 brand new people in green. You get, by the way, one of the things that I've really focused on with the members has been the early release of videos for members only, usually, several hours, half a day ahead of when everybody else sees them. So just keep that in mind. So thank you very much for that, Scott. You are amazing. Emotionally unstable. Good to see you, buddy. Amphibian says, Wolfman Jack. Yeah. True story. Oh, man. Oh, and by the way, ladies, I want to say one more time, in case some of you weren't here when I said it. Thank you. Because of our growth, this channel is 20% of its makeup is female. That's unheard of in the sphere. So let me know one of the reasons, if you can, not just in the chat, but, when you're commenting on a video or whatever, or even in the community tab. Let me know one of the reasons why you're here. I might even run a poll, because 20% of you are part of this audience. And by the way, we have some of the highest in the box demographics of any of the channels in this sphere. So thanks to you, and we're going to keep growing. 20% is a huge number. Normally it's like at best 10 for some of the channels that are my peers. So there's that. Culture was the stunt double for Harry and the Hendersons. Read by nature. Early in life, I think I've told the story, I wanted to be a stuntman. And we have stunt people, retired stunt people in the chat. Stunt Brat shows up here regularly. Probably one of the nicest Christmas gifts I got this year was from her. It's incredible. You guys, again, the PO box is open if you want to send me anything, you want to, even correspondence. In fact, it's getting checked on today. The PO box that I utilize is at a post office, a proper post office location that has the ability to actually take larger items. And the reason that's so important is, and the reason I picked that one is, it's at the private airport location that's very close to the house. So it's literally a mile away, maybe. So it's very easy to get to it. But the PO box is PO Box 20307. So you put it in care of Culture Casino at PO Box 20307, Mesa, Arizona 85277. So there's that. And then once again, I am very grateful to you all. You do everything in the world. Hey, Daniel's one of the optimists that I like here regularly. Daniel Alpine says movie theaters are saved when Paramount buys Warner Brothers. It's going to be a significant step in the right direction. Like I said, Netflix just became a pipe dream. Ted Sarandos looked very bad when testifying in front of the Judiciary Committee. He got dismantled in his testimony, trying to pretend like there's no agenda there. That's like Disney trying to pretend there's no agenda. So it also revealed something else. The financials for Netflix, after they did their 10-to-1 split, didn't go the direction they were hoping. They wanted that giant cash raise from the split, and it didn't work out that way. It didn't work out very well. Investors have more stock, but the value of the stock got diluted and is diluting. Well, it had been on a trend of diluting every day. I haven't checked today. So I'm not going to give you financial advice, investment advice, or anything else. So do not take what I'm saying as that. Go consult a professional. But I will give you my opinion on things that are happening and why. And, sometimes I'll even suggest the things that I might have done. So, but I'm not going to be that guy, Jim Cramer, on Mad Money, who tells you to hold Bear Steers at a time when it is just collapsing under the weight of its subprime loan business, which is, the bundling acquisition. It's one of the basis of the Big Short. You can go watch that movie. Lots of financial houses got caught up in some really bad stuff. So there's we don't like the guys that cheat to get where they are. The guys that misrepresent information, and that's unfortunately where Netflix is. John says, I have things to do, but I'm watching your channel. Thank you very much, my friend. And hey, let me know, weigh in on whatever you want video wise. If you have suggestions for things for me to do, you can communicate them in the channel. It doesn't always require a super chat for me to highlight things you have to say. So there you go. This is awful news. William Schweikert says, my neighbor's only daughter died in her arms. That is awful. I'm so sorry to hear that, William. That's terrible news. Noah, here we go. Noah did a survey and found that there is a cycle to the ocean of raise 0.7 of an inch up and down over the years. But we are all going to drown soon. No. Look, Weatherman, here's the weird thing about all of that. If anything they said was true over the course of my lifetime, 55 years on this planet, I have been hearing that there's massive shifts in what our living environment would be. No. Leonard Nimoy, in an episode of Nova on PBS, was telling us we were headed for another ice age. No. We had a hole in the ozone layer. You hear about that anymore? No. Everything was going to be flooded by 10 years ago. No. Looks like Florida, the island upon which Lady Liberty sits, water level's the same. You look around and you go, no. There's been shifts in the weather and the climate forever, the entire existence of the planet. In fact, if we're in the green cycle right now, we will have to be more concerned about a cooling period in the future. But you're going to watch right now, greening the desert programs are working very well. Introducing previously eliminated species into various areas has restarted the natural progression of grasslands and prairies across the nation and around the world. The investigations into the wonderful effects of beavers dams on redeveloping land, rebuilding soils, bringing back animals and insects that haven't been in those areas or regions in a long time. All of these things are showing us, how to live better within nature, which is a good thing. But at the same time, really truly understand what any of these processes are across the planet, and to look at a longer, wider view when it comes to the world around us, which is better because normally humans have such a focus on the now and the soon to be, and the soon to be part is a bigger conversation, I believe. So, yeah. Anyway, there's that. Coma Goins out in the audience today. And who else we got out there? Morgan King, the Warlord. Good to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well, my man. Look at all these wonderful people. You guys, Mrs. Pig Cafe is keeping tabs over there on the green machine. Low Specs over there. Cat Slave, Weatherman, the beautiful Deeple. Look at all these wonderful people. Look at them all. Green Machine's got a pretty large subscriber base for me over there. And of course, we're growing like a weed over here. 3,300 new subscribers within the last 28 days. Guys, you're a big part of the success of this channel. I will acknowledge you and say thank you, especially to people who've been here forever, like our good friend Ruby Hoove. Hopefully, if Hoove's doing well, please say hello. I don't get to see him anymore. And thank you for gifting a Culture Casino membership today, which actually went to William King. Look at that. We got so many wonderful humans out there. I appreciate each and every one of you. I hope you know. Penny just became a member again. Wait, no, this is not Penny. Who is this? TB7771 just became a member. Well, welcome. We got a new member. Thank you for that. Super awesome. Much appreciated. Wow. Oh, amazing stuff. Eminem Fish in the house. I'm here because of the chat. Unfortunately, I'm busy most days caregiving for family. I understand that. Yeah, and look, that is an unappreciated work, but it's rewarding. So Eminem Fish, I'm grateful that you're here. And when I see you, I always try to say hi. We got another super duper chat from our lovely lady, the first Dragon Queen. Again, she's doing good stuff. Lots of reviews, lots of different content. Again, talking about her animatronics for two Culture Casino. Cash says, I got the stuff to work on your surprise this week. Ah, excellent. Excellent. All right. Corporeal Being, good to see you, friend. And they didn't even bring up yeah, yeah. Nobody brought up the little private dancers, underage girls. It was such a terrible film. Totally driven in an area you shouldn't have. Jared, what's up? Jared Markham in the house says, "Could it be the people finally saw through the facade?" By the way, I have to say it that way. That Kevin Hart way. It's a facade, but I love saying facade. I don't know why. It's weird. Anyway, at numbers where it actually affected them after rediscovering some of the fake children's content they had on there and were adding. Yeah, when you look at, a giant chunk or the vast majority of their children's content containing some kind of messaging, no bueno. No bueno. Two members chats. I'll get to them, I promise. Thank you so much, Ms. Pig Cafe, keeping me honest out there. In fact, let's get to them right now. We got our wonderful friend, the pastor of Muppets out there. Been here for a minute, 9 months, in fact. So thank you for that. Almost a year. Pastor of Muppets. It's good to see you. Saying, I'm in Portland, Oregon. Or were you asking the ladies? No, I'd love to know where everybody is. Portland, Oregon's beautiful, but crazy. So could you get rid of those crazies, Pastor of Muppets? It'd be good. So friends in Oregon, they are out of the fray. They moved out to the country. So there's that. In fact, I have family land interests in Oregon. So it would be wonderful if if it was a little better there, and if taxes would go down and social programs weren't the priority. It's funny when the programs become the priority, but not the people, because that's often what happens with extreme self elimination empathy. I have to say it that way because YouTube, but there's that. And my good friend, fellow streamer, and somebody who's been here with me since the beginning, the incredible hype man himself, Bagels Mets. 62 months, folks. I have been here for 6 years. It took me almost a year to get monetized. And he's been here since, I think, day one, saying, hi, everyone. Hi, Bagels. I love you, man. We got to get together for pizza. I'm going to reach out to you and Vash and maybe a couple of others, and I'll pay. We'll have pizza in the near future. So, got a couple other people I could invite. Maybe we get Jed out there. So I think pizza time, and we're talking about real pizza. We're not doing it in the sense of like, those emails and all those elite whack jobs that are very bad for the globe. So there's that. Ms. Pit Cafe, you guys are amazing. Thank you. Look, the chat is on fire. You guys, it's like impossible to keep up with y'all. Hey, Matt G's in the house. One of those wrenches that have been here forever as well. Crouching Taylor Hidden Swift, otherwise known as Matt G, just in case you didn't know. And Daniel says, Daniel with another solid conversation here. I've come to the confident conclusion that Disney making 2D meets 3D style film is better than totally abandoning 2D because it's the best of both worlds. Hope Hext will be the next style. Well, we'll have to see. I want to see 3D animation blended with live actors again. I want to see that done well. I would like to see Illumination Studios try and do that. with some of the Nintendo products in the future. Hopefully they work with Nintendo in that direction, but that's just me. It's very strange. William says, crazy is an understatement. Well, yeah. Yeah. Anyone know when a possible Dallas meetup is happening? Coming up here. It's based around a con, and I can't remember the name of it. But it right now, all of a sudden, my presence at MegaCon may be in doubt. There's some other things that are happening in the real world for me that may keep me from attending that, which will be a huge bummer. I'm still gonna have to travel because I have to get to South Carolina to see Mike, give him his special chips, and I've got to get I've got to get to Tennessee to look over the land and actually pick out and pick for one of the many plots that have been available for a while. Pick it out and just buy it because the relocation can't happen soon enough, as far as I'm concerned. So, but yeah, MegaCon was too early this year. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, I mean, you know, I've told people I was going to be there, and it just may not work out. We've been fighting with, of course, obviously, I had the medical emergency, so all those bills have rolled in. But it's not just that. There's some other things in the background in my personal life that are just need to be squared away. So, and Deeple has family in Dallas, so there you go. Well, we'll see what we can do. I'll let you know as soon as I hear something. How about that? Hey, Carlos Alfredo Lopez in the house. Good to see you. Good to see you. Mexican Iron Man has been crying about those chips for over a year. I got him. I do. Yeah. I really want to over deliver here for Mikey. He deserves it. And he's been a good friend and just a good source of high quality information. And he supports everybody, and I love him. And he even does that from afar when he's pretending not to be a YouTuber. So there's that. All right. Hey, Detangled Shadows is here. Death Angel's Shadow. Good to see you, buddy. You're doing a good job over on Jason's channel, my friend. He says, hi, y'all, and a big howdy to Culture Casino. There you go. Here's solid advice from Lucius Nature Triste. Cancel Netflix. Yeah, good idea. Those are good idea genes. We need good idea genes with who would he have model those, do you think? I need to steal a model. Somebody that has the ability to model and act. Very, very, very pretty. Yeah. If you're ever in East Tennessee, well, I will be. We have four good conventions here in Kingsport and Knoxville. Knoxville is an amazing part of Tennessee. Chattanooga is an amazing part of Tennessee. Nashville's freaking fantastic. I might go to ICCCCCC sometime, if not this year, next year, because I need to go hang out with Coach and Nick and everybody. And I think Mexican Iron Man shows up for that. Sometimes Loki as well. So it'd be a lot of fun. Do a little meet up with everybody. Meet at one of those honky tonks and sit and shoot the breeze. Detangled Shadows lives in East Tennessee. Good for you. Yeah, a lot of people love Tennessee. I do. Lord Thoth in the house, one of the original mods for the channel. Thank you, my friend. It's great to see you. But what we need to do now is get to a few other stories, because I promised you a bonus time. I'm going to give it to you. Let's talk a little bit about the people that were found in the emails that it's not reflecting well upon them or their career. I just saw Scott dropped in a member chat. We'll get to that in a minute. Logistics giant DP World replaces chairman. Uh-oh. Yeah, there are consequences to being in those emails. Apparently, that was named in the Island Boy documents. That's right. Dubai has announced a new chairman for DP World. That's because they were losing extraordinary amounts of business. One of the world's largest logistic companies. replacing the outgoing head of DP World. This is kind of an embarrassment for the folks there. But Sultan Ahmed bin Sulayem has been replaced. They did not say who specifically is doing it quite yet, but the DP World's chairman and Yuvraj Narayan was named the group CEO. So there you go. They were having some financial ramifications. So yeah, by then. Let's see what else happened in the world. We had Europe hoping to repair the transatlantic damage that they've done with the United States. Trust, as at least get the trust. Rubio attend key security conference. He gave a magnificent speech. I was trying to clip the whole thing and it kept getting interrupted, but really super good stuff. Will they be able to repair it? I don't know. I mean, there's some European nations over there that have always been working at odds to the U.S. The only time the French like the U.S. is when, they can save them from themselves or a war or whatever. At least that's how it appears to thoughtful Americans. Let's see what else happened. We got plenty of news. That's the problem. Here we go. The workers at the Nevada brothel that have been there, they're looking for unionization. I don't even know what to say about this. And I didn't even know this was a thing. Can you actually unionize? Well, Nevada is the only state where people can legally purchase the opportunity to pay for intimate relations. I don't know why we allow it at all, but that's a totally different conversation. But the 74 workers at one specific location are soliciting the idea of a unionization. So there's that. Strange topic. Sorry, but news nonetheless. And finally, the current president boasts of over $1.5 billion in political funds. That's concerning for another political party since they were in the hole after a recent political campaign, which spent billions of dollars. How he chooses to spend it could rock the midterms, and that's true. Who's going to get backed? Why? When? How? It's maybe one of the reasons why an agenda item that kept pushing off the table and everybody stalled on. They've been stalling on his entire agenda in Congress. I don't know if you've noticed that for the last year, but there's some people very much in fear of being primaried and are considering changing parties, like Murkowski. But when you look to who just signed on as the very last person for the SAVE Act, you understand what leverage there is there. Money is huge leverage, especially in the midterm elections. If the Republicans hang on to Congress, then there's really nothing more there to hold back what could happen in this nation. So there's that. Interesting stuff, though. Oh, Pastor of Muppets, how do I know that? It was in the news story. I don't have any explaining to do. I'm a very faithful man. You know that, Pastor of Muppets. Yeah, I am. Yeah. I gave into Vice's gambling, for a long period of time, and to stop doing that too. So I'm nearly vice free, kids, outside of the occasional glass of wine now, which actually I'm back to taking. I was challenged by one of my friends, Drew Outstanding. If you guys aren't subscribed to Drew's channel, you should be. Drew Outstanding in field. I think it's just called Drew Outstanding in Field. I think it's all one word. Anyway, if you check out his channel, we did a little live stream. We talked about it, and he gave me the 74-day challenge or whatever it is. And look, for me, not drinking alcohol is no big deal. I like a glass of wine with dinner. It's a habit. but it doesn't need to be in my life. And the less you challenge your liver with, most people don't realize this, your liver does 500 different jobs in your body. And so it's the main filter mechanism and hormone balancer in your body. It controls so many different things. And if your body becomes increasingly insulin resistant, you start to put your liver into toxic shock, sort of. So since it has to do so many things, challenging it with things that are unnecessary you should just consider that. Excessive linoleic acid in your system, which comes from the overconsumption of seed oils and things like that. There's a lot of ways that you can help out. Not drinking, one of those ways. Avoiding seed oil, any kind of quote unquote rancid oils that are produced, like vegetable oil, stuff like that. It's one of the reasons why, one of the many reasons why fast food is so bad for you. And somebody recently did a study of like putting fresh fast food into plastic Ziploc bags and storing it over the course of lengthy periods of time. And while Wendy's and Burger King kind of dissolve into a moldy mush puddle like they're supposed to when food rots, McDonald's doesn't seem to do that. That's not good. That's not good. So right now, everything that's cooked in this household, and I'm just telling you what I do. You don't have to look at it as advice or anything else. Single source olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, single source, mind you, has to say that. Wonderful source of fat, and you need fat in your body. Don't let everybody fool you. A lot of fats have been demonized unnecessarily. Your body needs fat. Second, I use beef tallow. It's not expensive. Ghee, which is clarified butter, and avocado oil. You'll be surprised that things cooked in avocado oil taste lighter and fresher. All of those things. So nothing at McDonald's is food. I'm not going to argue with that. Yeah. Yeah, and look, I mean, one of the things now that I'm on the lookout for, because I'm so protein oriented, and again, that comes from my early keto days, right? Man, I did keto for a long time, and going into 2019, I was like, okay, I'm where I need to be. I'm at the level of exercise I need to be. Everything else is dialed in. I don't need to be so reliant on keto. I can have some carbs every once in a while or whatever. But what I wasn't doing was getting rid of the challenges to my liver, which allowed for, because of, expanding my diet, allowed for the negative things to start to create a level of toxicity in my liver. So again, the liver's your filter. So, and with 500 different jobs, why are you giving it more to deal with? So there's that. Oh yeah. And in fact, Nick, this is a great statement here. Nicole, this is exactly what I'm going to be doing this morning. So right now I'm currently again, this is what I do. You don't have to listen to me. And again, I'm a healthy guy. I grow my own vegetables. And again, that's one of the reasons the gardening channel is going to be out there. The gardening channel will talk more about nutrition, and how to cook things, how to prepare things, and what to cook. We'll talk about all those things on that channel. I'm just giving you a little, I guess, free preview in advance of that. But my eggs are cooked in avocado oil. I have a pure avocado oil spray. It's not one that's mixed with any other nonsense. And that's the other problem. The other things that I have limited severely, and this is one of the blessings of avoiding any soft drink, is artificial sweeteners, because of how your body reacts to them. And sucralose is no bueno. That's bad. That's often in a lot of supplements that we used to consider good. So you got to watch out for that. Your body handles fructose, especially in the liver, very differently. So, and again, I am not a doctor. I just have been researching this for the better part of 2 decades. So I'm very careful in how I select, how I prepare my food, and why, I'm a big advocate for butter, clarified butter, otherwise known as ghee, beef tallow, and avocado oil. And again, olive oil, especially if it's single source, is good. And that's the other problem right now in America. You don't know where your beef is being sourced. Something could be 100% beef, but it may not be all from the same cow. And now you're all going to look at me like I'm crazy, but there are meat binders as meat glue that's out there in the world. And you have more fake fish out in the markets now. It's not what you think you're eating. People are consuming scallops that are really just part of a fish paste called serrini. Look that up. There was recently an exposure that many of the restaurants, especially on the East Coast, they're serving serrini, which is a fish paste, as scallops. It's not; those aren't real scallops. So it's serrini. I mean, pollock is been a substitute for crab meat. You've heard of artificial crab meat, right? Well, that's actually just pollock, which is a fish, and dressed up as its crab. Yeah, you gotta be very, very careful what you're consuming, guys. The world is weird. Here's a suggestion. Hey, look, we got new people commenting. Thank you for those of you out there brave enough to comment. I appreciate it. Saying get Moroccan olive oil has more polyphenols. Those are very good indeed. Yep. Only Moroccan is high in that due to climate. Indeed. Yeah. So this is the other thing where people don't understand why things grow better and are better for you in different places. It's why I try to talk about purple potatoes, right? It's part of my superhero song, right? Because the benefits there of not just a high quality energy boosting complex starch, it's the fact that it's been proven because of its contents to help regenerate stem cells. I know it sounds crazy and bonkers, but it's true. It's every time I pull up new studies on foods and things like that, I consider, well, what microclimate did it come from? And do you know where the most diverse place in the U.S. is for microclimates? It's the Big Island in Hawaii. I know, it's wild stuff. In fact, that's why they can grow the most amount of varieties of particular flowers. A lot of people don't know that. Orchids, they're 22 different microclimates for orchids. Anyway, it is what it is. So, so your protein and your protein sources matter as much as the vegetables that you consume as well. But if you're trying to alleviate the toxins in your body and give your liver a helping hand, coniferous vegetables and leafy greens like spinach, those are very helpful and super crazy easy to grow for most regions of the United States. In fact, if you're in a northern zone right now, you should be getting ready to kick your garden into effect, because the sooner you plant sooner and safer that you can plant your carrots, your broccoli, cauliflower, things like that, the better off they'll be. They'll have better natural sugars in them. Carrots especially are sweeter when they're started just around the last frost date. So, FYI. Man, I'm crazy. I've been talking for the last 15 minutes about food. So let's get back to all the great chats out there. I'm sorry, folks. It's easy for me to get on a tangent, especially for stuff like that. And again, welcome to TB7771, if I'm reading that right. Yep, TB7771. Thank you for joining us. And of course, Weatherman drops a rant. Thank you, my friend, saying May 5, 1978, the coming ice age with Leonard Nimoy. I was joking about the drowning culture. Oh, I know, Weatherman. You and I are on the same page. And that is the episode of Nova. You can go find that. I believe it's still out on YouTube. And if not, you probably can find it on the Green Machine, if so be it. But yeah, it's kind of embarrassing when you think about it. You know who else should be embarrassed is Al Gore and the very uneducated Greta Thunberg. I'm tired of the liars and stuff. It's bad. And we know who the singular backers are of these very power-hungry moves is. It's the George Soroses of the world. It's the Bill Gates of the world. It's the Clinton Foundation. Again, and it's all just power grabs. And we should be more aware of that. We should actually look to disable NGOs that aren't really NGOs. We should be looking at some charities and those kinds of things for their lack of candor and honesty. And there's plenty of it, guys. Plenty. Speaking of plenty, our good friend L. Bird is here today. Thank you, dear. Much appreciated. Saying, I have blue potatoes. Is that the same? I am unfamiliar with blue potatoes, but I imagine that they have some pretty interesting sufficiencies. I have to take a look into that. What kind of soil do I need? Just a good, high quality natural soil. The closer you can get to soil preta, a terra preta, the better. But it just means you need just do all the steps it takes to get there. A lot of people are starting to invest in charcoal laden soil, which you enhance with you inoculate it with the high quality bacterial organisms that help in the soil, creating a porous soil. Look into it. There's a lot out there. There's a lot to be said for stone additives, ground stone. You can find that usually called azomite or something like that. That immediately injects the soil with nutrients. But mixing up your own soil, and it's the very first video I'm going to release on the gardening channel, is going to be how to create your own healthy and enriched soil. And then the steps for when you're planting to make sure that the nutrition is there when the plants need it. Because you can preload your food in your soil before their plants are even shooting roots into it. So that's always a good plan. So we'll definitely talk about it, Al, I promise. And thank you again. I truly appreciate it. Okay, I'm making sure I didn't miss anything else. All the gifties came in. Look at all these people. Shut up and act is a good slogan. I saw that a minute ago. And like I said, just because I'm unfamiliar with a particular species of something does not necessarily mean I can't look it up. And I will. So blue potatoes for sure. So thank you, Elle, for giving me something to go look up. The neat thing about purple potatoes is they're purple all the way through. And one of the reasons why you just clean up your potatoes and properly clean and vegetable brush them and everything else is to leave the skin on, as much of the skin as possible, but nothing that's bad. Obviously, don't leave the eyes or anything else. But one of the reasons that you leave the skin on is because a significant portion of the nutritional value is in that layer between the skin and the main body of the vegetable. So I can't say enough about, roots in general, yams and things like that. Rhubarb. Right now I've got purple globe turnips that are enormous that I'm going to show off here pretty soon as they're harvested. So turnips have a lot of different ways that you can use them. You can make cauliflower tortillas, believe it or not. And you do that by ricing the cauliflower. Cauliflower is crazy easy to grow this time of the year in most climates. This is a very good time. We are in the middle of February. So in a lot of northern regions, you still may have to cover it with some kind of geotextile to keep the heat in. But, if you're starting inside, it's not a bad place to start. Something that's easily transplanted. Yeah. I never have any luck transplanting carrots, so I just plant them in the ground and cover them so that they basically are on miniature greenhouses if I'm doing outdoor work. So there's that. The time of year that we grow the best green beans and peas and stuff like that, because of the region we're in, the desert Southwest, we can get away with a lot more outside of the greenhouse, including snow peas and regular peas and green beans, string beans, stuff like that. Like I grew big kahuna beans this year. They were enormous. Yeah. And it's a tradition. I mean, there's certain holidays where there's certain foods that are consumed, like New Year's Eve. You got to have your green beans. You have to have your string beans. You got to have them. It's part of the thing. So anyway, there's all of that. So I think I caught up. If mods, let me know that you're keeping me honest. I got everything. I'm going to do one last search for our friends in the, let's see, celebrates. We got Pastor Muppets. We got Biggles Mets. Oh, we didn't get Scott. There it is. That's the one I've forgotten. I acknowledged. Scott's been here for a long time, almost 4 years, 46 months of membership. Scott, thank you, my friend. I appreciate you. And thank you for what you do. I'm not sure if you've managed to retire yet and gone full time into your wildlife photography, but when I get to Florida, I'm going to let everybody know. So, I just don't think I'm going to make it for MegaCon now. It's about 50-50. I'm just going to tell you, it's about 50-50. The channel's having a good month, and that's helpful. But yeah, we need more. He says, would love to see you at ICCCC this year. I hope you can make it. Well, if I don't make it this year, I'll definitely make it next. But I owe Coach a visit. I need to see him. And no matter what, I got to go to the island. I got to see Mikey. There's a resort there that I'll probably be staying at, so I don't put him out. And then I've got to look at the land. I have to physically be on the ground because my goal is to be relocating in 2027 at the latest. So sometime later this year or at the end of the year or possibly 2027, I got to be relocating. I got to start getting ready to build studios, sound stages, and everything else. So it's got to be a decent sized plot of land, and close enough to get really good internet. And from what I see, most of Tennessee, good internet, kids, good internet. Going to invest extra deeply into batteries and solar on the land, in addition to water generation. So I have to have water on property, moving water, creeks, streams, rivers, don't care. Anyway, that's it. I got to get going, folks. So do you. You got places to be, shows to watch, and people to say hi to. So check out WDW Pro in the next few moments, as that show is going to go live shortly. I'm going to try to get the video edited so you'll have something to watch this afternoon. And we're going to talk about more. But while we're at that, do consider checking out Erica and Raf's channel. Super duper fun over there. She's super fun. Raf's super fun. And their Friday conversations are worth checking out. And sipping some coffee too. So on that note, I thank you so very much. Have a great day, everybody. Didn't miss anything. Double checking. Okay, my job is done, says Ms. Pick Cafe. Thank you, dear. Be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, and until next time, little hobo Gandalf on the way out the door. And the beard is almost back.